Hello friends, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel, and in particular, welcome to my USA brethren and of course my Welsh brethren. I know there's a lot of you that watch the channel, and thus we will provide a USA versus Wales preview. Massive game in Group B, because I think the winner of this is quite possibly the team that gets second. Is that a dangerous thing to say? Quite possibly. Have I done a preview on the England-Iran game? Yes, I have. Do you want to go and watch that? Feel free. What's really exciting about this game is that the youngsters are very likely to make the headlines for these two teams, and that's what we're going to dive into in just a second. If you're new to the channel and you want to enjoy some World Cup content, then I will be heading to Qatar. I will be watching this game and I will be reacting to it, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you enjoy this preview, of course, up to you, hit the like button. Right, let's dive into this. So, 64 years since Wales were at a World Cup, but now in 2022, they're preparing to take on the United States of America. I can't not say it that way. In a match which could spark all sorts of surprises. USA have some exciting young players that could create headlines, while Wales are raring to go. This golden generation keeps on providing, and it has finally delivered a World Cup experience for its fans. So what can we expect in a game between these two nations? The last player to score... So here we go. You ready? The last player to score against Wales in a World Cup match... That felt better in my head. Was Pele. Pele! More recently, however, Wales have struggled to find form, as they've lost 4 and drew 1 in their last 5. They did play the Netherlands and Belgium a total of 4 times, so the level of opposition was super strong and not necessarily a true reflection of how they can play. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of teams these days, is the Nations League. It makes life tough, and in terms of sort of stat padding, you can't do it the same way that you have previously, and that's a good thing about the Nations League. USA haven't been in brilliant form either. During the international break in September, they played Japan and Saudi Arabia and didn't score a single goal. And although they won the Gold Cup in 2021, that was a year and a half ago, so a lot has changed since then. It means that this is an unpredictable match that could be decided by moments of quality from the young players on either team. So, for example, you've got the likes of A.A. Ronson, otherwise known as Aronson, who's 22. You've got Reyna, 20. You've also got the 19-year-old Yunus Musa in midfield, who could really take the limelight with his brilliant technique on the ball. We speak about him in the one to watch from every World Cup team video, so go and check that one out when you get a chance if you want to see some gems. Aronson has 28 key passes for Leeds, as well as 19 successful dribbles, which are both the most of any player at the club. And in the national team, Aronson is likely to find himself on the bench, with Pulisic and Reyna starting, but his impact from the bench could be a real game changer for USA. Wales have one youngster that stands out the most, and that has to be Brennan Johnson. As a player to utilise on the counter, Johnson can be a devastating player for the opposition due to his pace and composure in finishing situations. Wales counter in a 3-4-3. The aim is to counter-attack as often as possible, and they sit deep out of possession to protect their goal. And when they win the ball, they're really direct towards Johnson, James and Bale. Their goal against Belgium was all down to Brennan Johnson, who received a direct pass from Roberts. Johnson was then able to turn and sprint to the byline, where he crossed into Kiefer Moore, and Kiefer Moore did what he does. He finished. And with Bale, of course, being the starter, Kiefer Moore becomes a superb backup option. He has 4 Premier League goals this season, with 3 of them being headed goals. And alongside Johnson, their wing-backs Roberts and Williams will be crucial in providing more with those quality crosses. On the topic of Roberts, he could really be a key asset for them in possession. In a recent preview discussing Burnley, we explained how Vincent Kompany has made them a really good team on the ball, and Roberts is such a huge part of that. His energy on the right flank, it means that he gets on the ball regularly and becomes an influential player for the team. Also, you've got Nico Williams, not the Spanish one, the Welsh one. He's been having a really impressive season at Nottingham Forest, as only Polina and Souček have more tackles and interceptions than him in the league this season. He's someone they can rely on to win possession often and then spark those counter-attacks. The USA are actually quite similar to Wales in how they want to counter-attack, and Pulisic is essential to that being effective. The trouble for USA is the fact that Pulisic has fallen out of favour at Chelsea and has played in a number of positions this season, so as it doesn't come into the tournament on great form. And in their 4-3-3, USA will play him on the left to make angled runs in behind and target him with direct passes. The game against Morocco in June, it was really interesting because it was their centre-back Zimmerman who played a long ball from deep, which Pulisic took down and laid off for Aronson to score. So this is what they'll be aiming to do at the World Cup. Let's talk about that US midfield because it's worth looking into, because you've got the likes of Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams and Yunus Musa. That is a brilliant trio that has a great balance of qualities. McKennie is a well-rounded player that covers a lot of the pitch. This is his heat map from last season, where you can see, yep, he's a box-to-box player. Compare that to Tyler Adams this season for Leeds, and the difference is really clear. He's a defensive midfielder who stays in the middle third and doesn't push into the box. He always offers himself for a pass and has completed the most passes for Leeds this season, 619. And he also does a lot of the dirty work in midfield with the most tackles won, 52. The most exciting out of these three is Yunus Musa. Due to their defensive cover, he'll be able to push forward, and he's got the ability to take on players, progress the ball from midfield, and is effective in tight spaces. The midfield's going to be really important against Wales, who will make it compact at the back, meaning that the United States are likely to have more of the ball. This midfield is capable of making things happen for them in the opposition's half, and US fans will be desperate for that to occur. So looking at the lineups, let's have a look at the Wales one. This is 3-4-3 from Wales. This is fairly likely to be with James, Bale and Johnson making up the front three, suiting that counter-attacking style. You've got Ramsey and Allen. They are the most experienced and the ideal midfield pairing really for them. However, Allen does look a doubt for the first match. This likely means that Ampadu will come into midfield with Mepham filling in at right centre-back. Davies, Rodon and Ampadu are regular starters at club level, and the same goes for Danny Ward, who has improved massively, or certainly the results for him have improved after a shaky start this season at Leicester. He's actually kept the second most clean sheets in the Premier League this season, but Ward's place isn't guaranteed, with Hennessy putting in some monster performances over the last 12 months for Wales, so it's a toss of a coin between those two. For the USA, we already know what to expect in midfield and outside. As for the striker position, it's a toss-up between Norwich City's Josh Sargent and Jesus Ferreira from FC Dallas. Sargent has found form at Norwich in the Championship with 9 goals and 2 assists in 19 matches. 21-year-old Jesus Ferreira is off the back of an MLS season where he scored 18 goals and got himself 6 assists. One weakness quite possibly is the centre-back partnership of Zimmerman and Ream. The reason this is a weakness in this 11 is that it's not a very agile partnership, and it's an area that teams will attempt to exploit. That lack of agility and quite possibly mobility is a concern in defensive transition, because you've got Anthony Robinson and Serginho Dest who will look to get on. They're known as the superpower according to the USA manager, and that means that Ream, especially on that left-hand side, could be in trouble if they're able to focus on him and Bale is able to get the ball in the channel, or, as we've spoken about previously, probably more importantly, Brennan Johnson or even Dan James. Right, this is a tricky one when it comes to predicting this one. I've got 2-1 for USA in my head. I've got 1-1 in my head as well. I'm going to sit on the fence on this one. I think it might be one where, again, conservatism plays out a little bit. Can Bale show that little bit of magic on the counter-attack for them? It's a real opportunity for Wales, because I think the way that the US play will allow space for them on the counter-attack, which is what they will enjoy. I think the game against Iran will be a very different contest, and of course the England game will allow them an opportunity to counter-attack as well, but you would imagine England have a little bit too much quality. So this is a huge game. I'm sitting on the fence. I think it'll be 1-1. Would you be okay with a 1-1 draw, guys? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. I'll be doing a match reaction after the game. I'm going to the game, so make sure you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell and hit the like button as well. And make sure you go and check out the England versus Iran preview as well. Right, guys, thanks a lot. See you soon.